We've already gone through the best snipers in the game, but are you using them correctly? Before you continue watching this video, make sure that you have the right gunsmith for your sniper, that you're playing at least with a 4-finger HUD, and that you're comfortable with your sensitivities, because these are the things you need for today. We're gonna talk about the 4 skills that you need to master to be better at sniping. First one being quick reaction time. This one's self-explanatory. It's always better for you to have a quick reaction time when it comes to one-shot kill weapons. But you might ask, how do I get a quicker reaction time? You know that when you're sprinting and you want to ADS or hipfire, there is a short delay between the end of your sprint and the beginning of the ADS animation or a hipfire shot. That is called sprint to fire delay. For the most guns in the game, this doesn't represent a huge amount of time, but for snipers, it can be really long. For the DLQ with a classic gunsmith is 216 milliseconds, which is the 3-shot kill TTK of the ASM-10. So it only makes sense that we have to find a way to cancel it. And guess what? Today, I'm going to show you 3 ways to do so. The first one consists of walking back or strafing before ADSing. Since you won't be sprinting anymore, you won't have sprint to fire delay. The second one, more related to S&D, is to walk while sniping. The third and last one is to slide cancel, or jump before shooting. This will make you gain at least 200 milliseconds, which is a huge amount of time, knowing how quick the time to kill of some weapons nowadays. Now that you know how to shorten your reaction time, let me tell you that there's another skill that allows you to do that while also increasing your accuracy. Yeah, seems overpowered, I know. That skill is none other than the crosshair placement and the crosshair alignment. First, let's differentiate both of them. Crosshair placement is how and where you put your crosshair while running around the map. Crosshair alignment is a special part of the crosshair placement. It's how you place your crosshair when you see an enemy before ADSing. They are both super important for 2 reasons. First reason is that if your crosshair is well placed when you see an enemy, you'll have a higher chance to hit your shot and eliminate an enemy. The second thing is slightly more subtle. Your eyes when you're playing are usually focused on the center of your screen where your crosshair is placed, which means that if an enemy appears right in the center of your screen, you'll react quicker than if he pops up right at the edge of your field of view. Now you might ask, how can I improve my crosshair placement and alignment? Well, that's simple. For crosshair placement, place your crosshair where you expect an enemy to come at the right height, which is about chest level. So you can easily adjust if someone is jumping or sliding, and do this every time, whether you're waiting for someone to peek, if you're holding a position, running around the map, or peeking. Crosshair alignment, however, is slightly harder to master. When you see an enemy, you don't necessarily place your crosshair right on him. Don't get confused. Let me explain. When you see an enemy, for example, if he's sprinting towards the right, place your crosshair slightly in front of him. By doing this, you reduce the distance you'll have to track while being in the ADS animation. If you are behind an enemy, then you have to place your crosshair on him. And if an enemy is facing you, then it depends. If he's running straight, just place your crosshair on him. If he's doing zigzag or if he is strafing, then try to place your crosshair on the center of his movement, but you'll have to adjust while ADSing. To add to this, place your crosshair in a way that the enemy will be right in the center of your screen after you ADS'd without moving your camera. Now that we talked about how to place your crosshair when you aren't ADS'd, let's talk about what you have to do when you're ADS'd. We have hardscopes for the third skill. First things first, when do you hardscope? Whether you're in S&D or in response, hardscopes are useful and powerful if they are done correctly. In response, at the beginning of the game, you can hold lines like in S&D, but after that, hardscope only when you're sure that an enemy will peek in front of you. How do you know that? By looking at your minimap, listening to footsteps, or if someone is chasing you. Hardscoping when you aren't 100% sure that someone will peek you is equal to a death in response because someone can backstab you at any moment. In S&D, there are some open field lanes that you can and have to take advantage of if you're using a sniper, like the middle lane on firing range, the pool lanes on raid, the lane between boxes and the A site on standoff, and a lot more. Those lanes have to be taken as quickly as possible at the beginning of the round to secure an area and get information. Now the second question is, how do you hardscope? Well, there are 2 concrete methods. The first one is to aim on the wall next to the spot where you expect the enemy to peek, so he won't see your laser if you're using one, and when he peeks, you flick on him and get the kill. But this requires a lot of flick consistency. Now let's say that you don't have a laser on or you don't care about showing it. You have to do the same thing that pros do in Valorant when they are holding angles. You have to place your crosshair slightly shifted towards the spot where the enemy should be when he'll peek at you. This, combined with the aim assist that we have in game, creates some situations when you don't even have to move your finger to eliminate someone. Of course, it is impossible to do a sniper video without talking about movement, and it's the 4th and last skill. We already talked about it in the past, but we're gonna try to go more in depth here. here. On a gameplay that is running in the background since the beginning of this video, you might have noticed one thing. There is no knife switch in Respawn game modes, but we do have it on S&D. That is the first step. In Respawns, even if it is really stylish, switching to your knife then back to your sniper costs you time, even if you're doing it in the fastest way. And since in Respawns, it's more likely that you'll find yourself in a 1v2 gunfight than in S&D. But no matter what game mode we're playing, we'll always have to peek corners. If you want to peek somewhere and you aren't sure that there's an enemy, slide early in a way that the end of your slide will be close to the cover you just left, close enough so with a simple jump you can get back behind. If you're sure that an enemy is waiting for you and you want to challenge him, slide as late as possible so you'll look really fast to your enemy and you'll go really far from where he expected you, making the odds of him missing his shots better. If you want to improve on this, you can also replace the slide with a slide cancel, which is better since it helps for crosshair placement, or slide jump, or slide cancel and jump, or if you have enough space to do it, a bunny hop. If you don't know how to bunny hop, it's pretty easy. You just have to slide plus jump, ADS during the jump, then jump right when you land. This will make you do a huge jump. Plus with snipers, when you do this, your crosshair is really stable while ADS, which makes the shot easier to hit than when you are doing a classic jump shot. Now that you have the basics in terms of movements, you need to learn other movements to be efficient. But just before that, for S&D, don't forget to use amped in the knife, because sliding right after dropping your knife will give you the slide speed and distance that you would have with the knife. And that is part of the thing that gives you more chances to win a 1v1 in S&D. For respawns, you can use quick fix or toughness if you want to be more efficient than stylish. Now that's out of the way, let's talk about movements in detail. The first one is probably the most used in S&D, the slide 180 and the backslide, something that you use when you're getting chased by a melee user, one of the things that you absolutely have to learn if you're playing S&D. The dolphin jump peek to take information is also really useful, and the bunny hop as mentioned earlier. When you know how to do these three movements, then it's just about how you combine them to improve your movement. For example, the backslide into a side slide, and a lot more combinations in the book. And now a short list of things that can also help you to be a better sniper. Slide canceling doesn't make a sound, so if you walk and slide cancel instantly, you will not make any sound. Zigzag when you're running around the map, use a suppressor if you can. Don't go for CQC no scope too much. Don't forget to take your sniper on hand when you may encounter an enemy. Master the fire rate of your sniper. Master its quickscope timing.
Don't hesitate to wallbang potential spots where the enemies can be.
And never play without dead silence. What else do you want to learn in COD Mobile? Let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this type of content, subscribe because we're on our way to 200,000 subscribers. Now go ahead and get the best gunsmith builds for snipers or train your sniper aim right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.